Good morning, everybody. We got something pretty exciting today. So what we're going to do is we're going to take my LMT MGM Baja apart and get it ready for a new item. So stick with us. Today we're going to look at something I got new. Well, new to me. A gentleman had this tailored Diablo 88 for sale, and I went and bought it. So we're going to take off my LMT MGM electronics and we're going to put the Diablo on. So watch with me. Thanks. Of course, we're going to take the body off first, and I'm going to remove the ESC and the motor, which is all wired together with a BEC, so it'll all come off in basically one piece. If I remove the top plate and unbolt the motor, I'll be able to slide the motor out and remove the ESC, and everything will be wired up with only a receiver connection and battery leads. I'm not going to time lapse anything in this video because I want you to see about how long it takes to do something like this. After I remove the motor and ESC, I'll remove the brushless conversion, and then we can start getting the motor laid out on it. At the time of this video, I'm waiting on a Kraken X3 chassis for my Baja and a Yamadude throttle linkage and a new gas tank that's clean from DDM Racing. And from Taylor RC, I'm waiting on a rear engine brace that comes with the Diablo that the gentleman just run off and left at his house, and a Diablo specific rear shock tower. I'm also going to replace the right side engine brace with a Taylor RC, and I'm also going to replace the Turtle Racing top plate with a Taylor RC one. I apologize for it being a little dark in the video. This room's lit up like I'm doing surgery, so I'm gonna have to work on that just a little bit. Maybe I can brighten the video up some in videos to come. snip a few zip ties. Don't forget you use Loctite, so you're going to have to heat up the Loctite. This is the pinion set screw I'm heating up. I'm sure there's some kind of trick little gear puller out there, but I really haven't found a better way other than a big screwdriver and mainly just pry it off the shaft. A little bit on one side, a little bit on the other side, and it works its way off. And the same thing goes with the spur gear. I haven't really found a better way than just prying it off. Sometimes when these shafts, you tighten stuff down on them, they mushroom a little bit, or something will hit them, or they'll just get dirt on them and grime, and it'll get stuck between the gear and the shaft, and it just makes the shaft not come off. So basically what I'm about to do is I'm about to get a file. Well, first I'm going to push the pinion back on. Just did that. And now I'm going to go get a file, and I'm going to just lightly just run the file over the shaft to get any kind of anything off of it that might be causing the pinion not to come off. And I get the file and I do that, and then you'll see the pinion slides right off. So and most of the time when stuff's where you leave it, some of the time you don't remember where you leave it. So you've got to hunt down the file. And even though I'm the only one working in this space and nobody ever comes up here, it seems like stuff moves on its own sometimes. So So the best way to remove a pinion is even pressure from all the way around the pinion. I've got a tool I've kind of thought of I'm going to try to make to do it, but until then I just jack at it with a screwdriver just like I'm doing right now. And, it comes off. On a LMT motor, it has a fan that's a cooling fan. So your screws that hold the motor on can only go so deep. If they go too deep, they'll touch the fan and it'll keep the fan from spinning, which will keep the motor from spinning. So you have to have screws that have a shank on them. And as you can see, I made these. I took motor screws and I found some nuts and I've rolled them all the way down, and then I smoothed out the edges to more or less put a shank on them. And now that I got the motor screws out, the motor will slide out the back and everything's connected still. Oh, I got to get the temperature sensor off the motor, piece of duct tape, which duct tape's always mega stuck, seems like, when you want it to come off. And then, of course, there's the motor out. So now I have to remove the brushless conversion, which I got to take the spur gear off first. And then I can take the top plate off and the brushless conversion out. And then I have to try to find the gas pieces. Like, I've took a lot of gas Bajas apart to make them brushless, but I've only really gone, well, I've never done this. I've never took a brushless Baja and made it gas. I did get a gas Baja that was a roller, which coincidentally is this Baja, and I made it gas. I got a gas Baja and put a gas motor on it, the ALX 85 that's in my videos. But I never started that motor. I didn't want to take the hit on the value from a brand new motor to a used one. I bought it used, but it was brand new, and then once I realized it was brand new, I kind of wanted to cash out on it. I did. And haven't really been interested in gas motors until here recently, and I've found this Taylor 88 for sale not far from me. And decided to
that didn't work.
Give it a shot and see. I've seen some interesting videos. You really need to get one of them magnetic trays if you don't have one. They really are good. The only drawback to them is if you have stainless hardware, it doesn't really hold the stainless very good. But so now it looks like I'm taking the top plate loose, which I will have to take the spur gear off before I can take the brushless conversion off. So I do have a new chassis in the mail right now for this buggy, so I'm going to basically get it put back together as far as I can get it. I have to find some brake pieces that I have. I pretty much put all the gas stuff in a tote and I just kept it. There's been a couple times I tried to give it away, but I guess because they were just stock motors, nobody was really interested in the stuff, so I guess it's good. So now I'm going to have to go through that stuff and find my brake assembly and my disc brakes and my brake cam and, I mean, just everything. The gas top plate. I don't think I can use the gear guard with this 88 because it's got a large bearing in the front of the motor, so I'll probably have to order a Taylor one if I even run one. And we'll see. I'm really excited about trying the 88. I've never really gave these gas motors a chance, and I really just dismissed them as inferior, which this 88 should make right about 30 horsepower, which is what the brushless conversion I just took off makes, 30. It's just a different kind of horsepower with a different kind of torque curve. So it should be fun. Got to heat that lay shaft bolt up because of the Loctite. You have to Loctite this stuff. If you don't Loctite it, you're going to lose it. This lay shaft bolt, for some reason, is extra long. I don't really know why. I've had two of the same lay shaft bolts, and the lengths are different. I have them right now so I could show you, but this bolt I have caught probably more than 3/4 of the way out on a couple different occasions when I didn't Loctite it. So Loctite your bolts and screws. This Chinese fit-all's giving me a fit here for just a second, but I get it. the brushless conversion bolts down to the chassis just like the motor bolts. So you take them out of the bottom. You see the next thing, well, I guess maybe that's it. One's out of the bottom, already got the top plate off. So we'll see.
Oh. Damn.
So what's happened was I tried to get the bearing off the lay shaft, and where the spur rides, sometimes it beats a little spot in the lay shaft where it is, which makes it not perfectly round right where it's kind of before where it's sitting. So the bearing wouldn't slide off. Well, I was trying to push the bearing off, and it caught my finger between the bearing and where the square goes to round, and it just scooped out of my finger. There you can see it. It bled and it bled and it bled, and so I got a paper towel, and then I got some tape, and I wrapped it around the paper towel, and just let it bleed in it, and get the file, and I run the file around the lay shaft, and then the bearing just slides right off. So the brushless conversion's off, and we're gonna clean a little bit of the stuff out of it. I'm really looking forward to trying this out. If you watch any kind of videos, some of them look but there are a few videos that are just like, it's extremely impressive. And this is probably going to be let's shake it out a little bit. Make sure everything looks good. Give that sucker a spin. And see what we got. I'm really excited, really, because not only am I going to give the 88 a try, but I've also got another gas Baja that we're going to mess with. Here it is, 88 Diablo. I'm currently waiting on the Diablo specific rear shock tower and the rear engine brace and a chassis and a right hand engine brace and a top plate and a gas tank and a throttle cable linkage. So we're gonna get the bolts in this motor, get it set in place, and then go from there. I will say, holding this motor in place on the chassis and holding the chassis up while holding the screw and the Allen driver in one hand and the chassis and the motor in the other hand was a little bit tougher than I kind of thought it was going to be. The motor is kind of heavy, and so you get a screw in, and then you can kind of, it gets a little easier, and then when you get two in, it gets a lot easier. Back there I got one in, and you just do it. Sometimes it takes a long time and sometimes it sucks, but when it's over, it's done. So now I got to get all the brake stuff together. Spur gear, what I'm going to put on it. It has a 30 tooth pinion on it right now. I'll probably leave that. Get my top plate, get everything that I need to finish putting it on, and then, you know, the DDM stuff and Taylor stuff will be here in a day maybe. Hey everybody. So I was able to get everything basically on and together. There was a couple things that I'm obviously still waiting on. So let's look at what I ended up with. I got the brakes on and the spur gear and the top plate. I got the gas tank in and the engine brace on. I've got to hook up the kill switch and wait on the parts. What's up? So it's been a couple days and we got some parts in, and I turned some wrenches in the background and got the ball all done with with the 88 and the pipe and the new shock tower and the new gas tank and the new braces and the new throttle linkage and the new chassis. So let's check it out.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so right now my only plan is to buy some C12 from my local drag strip and probably paint the pipe. I'm gonna take the pipe off and I'm gonna sand it and I'm gonna paint it. It looks kind of rough, but it's not got any dents in it or anything. It's just, I think, got some paint that's burned off of it. So that's the only things I'm looking to do to this. I may end up getting a new pipe for it because my cage won't fit with this pipe. This motor was on a hybrid, and so maybe the pipe's just a little different than a Baja pipe, but nevertheless, I'm gonna drive it and I'll get a pipe that I can fit my cage on it, and then it'll be done. So thanks for watching, guys. See y'all later.